Hey everybody, thanks for watching. This is going to be a Ace VR remote rebuild and switchover. So the main one, I guess, is the most difficult, is the one from Ace. So this is the stuff you're going to need and the stuff you're going to get. You're going to get a little piece of about 80 grit or a little file and a couple different punches, but I have these I'm using as punches. And so when you get your 2011, there's going to be a little edge right here I take off. I also smooth this and this out, and then if it doesn't fit, I'll push this forward just a little bit, like half a millimeter or so. And then once that's done, I'll show you what you have to do to the fire control unit. So we'll move over to here. And so if you get your staccato or whatever one you do, you push out your pins on your fire control unit, okay? And you take out your fire control. And then your safety falls out, and this is the staccato version. And so I'm gonna put this over here because we're gonna be working to put on this one now. And so to get this one to fit also, again, what I do is once I file down those little pieces in here, I'll actually take this edge right here and I'll file this down and take that hard edge off. And then these holes will line up perfectly. I'm not sure if you can see that, or it's not showing right, but they go perfect right there. They just fall in. So now, these are the setting pins. We're gonna take this apart, and yours comes with 5 different triggers and take down gas pedals and different options, right? But I also make extra sears and disconnectors if you want. We're just gonna need, for now, the trigger and the mag release, because this trigger and this mag release for the staccato doesn't move over. And so we're gonna take this pin out, and this pin right here is gonna release 2 springs on the trigger, so hold everything together. Once you drop this pin, okay, I dropped this pin. Now I'm gonna let this fall out, and the first thing is gonna be 1 spring that sits on that hole right there that pushes up on the bottom of this edge for the trigger. And then when you lift this sear up, there's going to be another spring that falls out that sits in the top of your trigger. And then there's a pin that holds your sear in. And if you look at the sear, it's angled. It's got that edge up. It's not flat up. See, it's flat on one side, and it's got this edge for your take up and your reset. So I'm going to drop the pin and take that piece out. Again, I send you more if you want to change your colors or different settings and stuff. I have different ones for both. Now we're going to take this sear, put it on the trigger, and put this tiny little pin to hold that in. Oops, it fell right through. It holds in, okay? Now I'm gonna lift this up and put the spring back in here. So now you got your spring pressing on. I'm gonna take this spring, put it back in that hole, and then put the trigger back on. Once I put the trigger back on with the pin, while holding everything, there's a bit of tension you have to give everything while you're putting it. And then your trigger should continue working like it did. Let me make sure, again, so what you want to, I'm taking it out just to check, but sometimes your springs won't be straight when you do this. So sometimes you just want to reset everything and make sure that all your springs were straight. This is actually a little loose because I've done this several times, just messing with it. So we have that. We have our spring that's straight in, and I hold this down to put, I hold the sear also. Oof. I'm glad y'all are seeing this happen, because this is going to happen to you in the moment. So I'm going to hold this upright now, or I'll lay it down, but just keep tension on it with that little pin in it. That way it's not floating. Now when I pick it up, there should be tension. I've got it. I'm going to make sure that this spring is this spring is in here. It should just be much easier. I don't know why it's this difficult. I've done this dozens of times. It's so quick. And then put your pin in, and then bam, 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 bam. Perfect, right? Now, once you put this in, I recommend putting the shorter one up front, right? Lining it up, putting in the front, and then putting your safety in, lifting this back up just a little bit, putting the safety in. It should fall. Let me see. There we go. Now once the safety goes in, push this down to where those line up. And make sure your safety, there's a little edge on it. Make sure that safety is facing upward at like a 45-degree angle once you put it in. And you'll feel it bite. And once it bites, it'll start pushing on this. Once that happens, you know it's set, and then you can push this down, line this pin up. Oh. This is the most difficult one. Line. There we go. Line that one up. And then you're good. Give me about 10 seconds. 9. Now you have your remote. Pull this back. I appreciate you watching, and I've got 2 different groups available to be a part of, and if you need an aftermarket remote or anything like that, I'm your guy. I make about 10 or so different versions and different types of remotes aftermarket with different parts. Thank you for watching. This is the group that everybody's gonna be posting in, and I'm gonna be posting all of my updates and new products. Thanks guys, appreciate your time.